Nancy Pelosi gives a briefing minutes ago about your stimulus check, gives an update about the process, the timelines, and the provisions, and how some items can get in there and other items are still pushing to put in there as well. Great news across the board. Meantime, updates from Wall Street as they react to stimulus and why more stimulus will be needed after this as well. A lot of big details, and then questions about why double masking is better than single masking. I'll have all those details and more on explaining why a double mask could be safer when you're out in public. This is a big, great afternoon's recording of Home LALATE. Thank you for joining me on a taped recording of Home LALATE. What a great day it is. It's Thursday afternoon. I'm here, you're here, and thank you for joining me for the lighthearted, easy breezy midday update about your stimulus. And direct from Wall Street, the latest details. This is LALATE. From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, thank you for joining me on the most comprehensive financial news channel there is, reporting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Home LALATE gives you the latest update about your stimulus check, SSI and SSDI, FPUC, EIDL, and more, and a little bit of lighthearted chat at the end of the recording. So thank you for joining me. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is the most comprehensive channel you're going to get for financial data around the globe. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Later today, you'll be getting more PDFs as a member of this channel that delineates the big stimulus you can get across the board. Earlier today, we had great news as we learned a little bit more about those multiple stimulus checks. If you're an adult and you have a child, you will get up to $3,000 or $3,600 if the child is 17 years or younger, prepaid starting in the month of July. So I had one viewer that has 3 children, and they're going to get about $10,000 prepaid starting in the month of July, prorated over 12 months. And another viewer has 7 kids. He's going to see about $21,000 of multiple stimulus checks prepaid starting in the month of July for 1 year. Now, the push of this viewership of this channel is to continue that notion to other items similar, like other tax credits. Those include the Earned Income Tax Credit. The Earned Income Tax Credit in the third stimulus package bill provides a $1,500 check to a single non-parent, just a single individual that worked during the pandemic in any capacity as an essential worker and made less than $25,000. $1,500 is a lot of good money that you need. So why should you wait till next year to receive the $1,500? That should be prepaid and start in the month of July as well. The several committees that are dealing with these issues that you should certainly reach out to if you have opinions are the House Ways and Means Committee. They are dealing with the stimulus check. They're dealing with the FPUC and unemployment issues. They're dealing with the tax credit, all the tax credits, like the child one I just detailed, like the Earned Income Tax Credit. Meantime, over in the other subcommittees, the small businesses dealing with the EIDL grant, which viewers are perplexed about. Why is it $5,000? And the new business loan and the business grants. And then the subcommittees on labor are dealing with other issues and certainly need to take up the issues of hazard pay. Now, SSI and SSDI, Social Security and Railroad benefits, has sort of fallen by the wayside, not being discussed. The President of the United States has gone silent on the issue since December, along with other issues like adult dependents. They were supposed to get $3,200 stimulus check. Like FPUC, that was supposed to be retro to July at $600 a week. Then it was supposed to be retro to January at $400 a week. Like EIDL grant, that was supposed to be $10,000. Now it's $5,000. Ultimately, there's a push underway to get those things, and you need to be on social media and take that push. But minutes ago, Nancy Pelosi gave a very good press conference with great information across the board about your stimulus check and your stimulus package. What's going on? When is it going to happen? What should you see? Remember, the stimulus check currently is $1,400 an individual, $2,800 a married couple, $1,400 adult dependent, and $1,400 a child. Yes, the adult dependent was supposed to be $3,200. Then there are other provisions in the third stimulus package, like FPUC, March to September, August at $400 a week. Earned income tax credit, $1,500. Child care tax credit of up to $5,000. Child tax credit, which is $3,600 to $33,000. Hazard pay, the amount we don't know. Student aid amount for college students, $1,700, and paid sick leave, $1,400. There's also things like mortgage payments, rent assistance, and utility assistance across the board. Nancy Pelosi today, minutes ago, said, so I'm very pleased that we passed the budget resolution a week ago last Friday. We passed the budget resolution that paved the way for the passage of the landmark coronavirus legislation that will save the lives and livelihoods. Our committees now, these are House subcommittees, will continue to work with the bill's context. That will be all. But as soon as the Senate finishes their work, then we can pass on what they do. So hopefully that will be in the next 48 hours. It's not particularly clear what she's referring to, but I've told you that the House subcommittees are working on the bill between now and Friday. She says that the Senate's apparently working on it well. This is great news for you, because Elizabeth Warren, E. Warren on Twitter, is this person who rallied for SSI and SSDI. Reach out to her. Other senators like Bernie Sanders are among the people who have rallied for things like the FPUC or the bigger stimulus check. Reach out to them as well. Then we can signal that they're ready to mark up the bills. We can file the bills. Our committees will form the text. And as I said, so that the Biden relief package will put money, we're putting money in people's pockets. I want to commend Bobby Scott, chairman of the Education and Labor Committee, for his ongoing work. He passed this last year, and it's been a bipartisan work. I hope he will get again done tomorrow. So labor, that's who you should reach out to for hazard pay, Bobby Scott. And again, we can do a couple of things at once. We're moving on our legislation to pass the Biden-Harris administration COVID-19 package. Question, reporter, then came the questions for Nancy Pelosi. Question, I was wondering what your thought of the Republican senators' plans. Joe Biden has indicated he wants to stay there. What do you think is going to end up? Nancy Pelosi. Well, Joe Biden has presented a plan that meets the needs. This is very important because, let me see, I want to read this before I think we can get it to know. But we have about 450,000 people who've died. But don't let it take it from me. This is what the GOA say, the 36-page document. Almost 90% of the recommendations from June, September, and November remain implemented. So we want to save lives and livelihoods. It's going to cost us money to do so, but it's an important investment. It's a reasonable plan. It meets the needs. It's not excessive. Viewers may disagree. Viewers may say it's not sufficient, that it's too small, it needs to go bigger. Other people have fought to get it bigger and have won. Since Friday, the progressives in the House got the $15 federal minimum wage back into the bill. It was removed. You could push as well. Push to get the items back in that were promised just a few days ago. $3,200 adult dependents, SSI and SSDI. The EIDL grant of $10,000, FPUC at $400 back to January, $600 back to July. And what we did at the end of December, put this as another approximate, we've been advocating the HEROES Act all along, $3.3 trillion. This comes to nearly $3 trillion. And that's what the needs are for the Republican senators to come at $600 billion, one-third. Well, what is it? This is very interesting. So she's talking about the HEROES Act, $3.2 trillion is sufficient. This is not the HEROES Act. This is actually $1.9 trillion. Missing is the vast majority of the items of the HEROES Act. So what she's trying to say in this press conference is that this, when you add it with the December bill, reaches the totality of the HEROES Act. It does not. It does not. HEROES Act was $600 a week, FPUC. HEROES Act was $10,000 of hazard pay. HEROES Act had a lot of other things. Where are those in this one? I think they have not represented our heroes by supporting state and local government. So again, I don't see how those choices are. Good morning, Madam Speaker. Another question. On the budget resolution package, yes, sir. For coronavirus, obviously, there's a lot of Democrat priorities that they did like to put in there. There's a hearing going on right now about the minimum wage from Marty Walsh. And some of those things like the minimum wage didn't wind up in the bill because they have to work through this process. What's our chance to get these things done? So this is a great question. This is basically asking, why are things not in here? Now, certainly there's a difference between things that qualify that are in there, but not the right amount, versus things that are simply not in there. FPUC is in there, wrong amount. Adult dependence check is in there, wrong amount. Hazard pay is in there, don't even know what the amount is. EIDL is in there, wrong amount. So this is sort of a different question. This is referring to things that aren't even in there. Well, SSI and SSDI are not in there. So this is for you. Well, Speaker Pelosi, well, it doesn't mean it won't happen. Well, that's great news there. So she's repeating what I hope she would say. Don't forget what you got to get done. don't forget for the American people what you got to get done. Now, ultimately, you know and I know there are certain things they have to get done here, and they're not doing the right amount. FPUC, $3,200 adult dependent, EIDL. But it doesn't mean that she's not going to get to other things later on. So you have to push for the things that they're working on now. The House Subcommittee on Ways and Means is working on FPUC, the stimulus check for adult dependents. You need to push on that right now. But it doesn't mean they're not getting to SSI somewhere else. It doesn't mean it won't happen. Just because it won't happen there. I love that. That's the type of language I want. And I like that that reporter asked that question. That's a question I would ask. As you know, in many ways, with the mercy of the Senate in the terms of the Byrd rule. So this, of course, is the Senate rule that says you cannot have provisions in this bill that don't concern the U.S. budget. Excuse, yeah, perhaps. You could do SSI and SSDI. This is perhaps an excuse not to get it in there. But it is a rule, and they have to follow it. And again, the Senate's going to make some determination. I hope she would make them by now, but until we have our bill, which we have now, we don't have those determinations from her. So again, that's the person in the Senate, the parliamentarian. But there's so much in the package that has to be done right now. We'll do the best we can. Question: do you have concern that someone say the Democrats are going to have to go to the House, they're going to have to go to the head of the Senate, they're going to have to go to the White House, and you say, just because it's not in the bill doesn't mean it's not going to get done, but they'll be disappointed. How do you respond to them and say, look, you know? Wow, that's a great question. Who is this reporter? This is a great question for the reporter. I like these questions better than the answers. The question saying, hey, viewers are going to be disappointed because something's not in the bill. What is your response to people who says there's something not in the bill as promised? Speaker Pelosi, we've already introduced the minimum wage. That's a very high priority, but we can't and we hope we can get it in the reconciliation. She pauses. She says we can't get in there, but we'll hope we get in there. Yeah. I'm a veteran of reconciliation bills over time, and I know, shall we say, the struggle frequently is to get everything to comply in there. I think the House is sort of a House of Lords attitude. We're just like, why don't we just pass it without having to determine one person how to get it done? Vote it up, vote it down. This is the same statement she said earlier this week. But in any event, I'm excited. Okay, so she says she likes her bill, but it's still not answering the question. We want to do it in the way that's fair, but do you know there are 2 times as many? Okay, so she's saying a lot of things, but she's still not answering the question. Okay, here's the answer to the question finally. But in any event, we're very proud of the legislation, but again, it's not the last bill we pass. Can you put this in a frame and put it behind on your desk and repeat it back to her every time you see a tweet? It will not be the last bill we'll pass. Okay, so when are you going to pass the bill that provides the relief that Americans were promised? This is the recovery bill. This is the rescue package. This is the rescue package. So as we do this bill, we will do what in a way that's fair and equitable, continue to do the testing, et cetera, et cetera. And then hopefully we can get to a place where this bill will be a force of fairness rather than ostracizing unfairness. Okay, so now she talks about the next bill. Then we have it. The next bill, this will be the rescue bill. That's... She can't tell. She's changing her phrasing. We have it. The next bill will, this is the rescue. That's the recovery. Okay, these words, last year we did H's and H's and H's, heels and heroes. Now we're doing R's and R's and R's. This is the rescue bill. The next one's the recovery bill. As though I'm going to have difficulty to remember that. This is the rescue bill. The next one's the recovery bill. And we're already working on some provisions that we would have in the Recovery Act, the recovery bill. This sounds like the exact same quote I had last week. We're legislators. Oh, yes, apparently they are. That's why we're here. Oh, really? It surprised me. That's what we do, and we're always ready to get ready for the next legislation. Well, when are you going to get ready? We've been waiting for this legislation since, Election Day. Build Back America for the people. These are some of the things we talked about. Help is on the way. The recovery package with lower healthcare costs, bigger paychecks for the people is what we need to do. So this is good news. This is good language coming up. So just because something may not be in one bill, and we don't accept that yet, but it isn't in there, we have other places to do it. Okay, can we just frame that sentence and just repeat it back as often as we can? Just because it's not there doesn't mean we aren't going to do it. We have other places to do it. Okay, when and where can we have the exact answer? But this is really great news. This is a great question from a very good reporter and a great answer from Nancy Pelosi. It's very direct, and this is not 2020. This is actually a very specific answer. In fact, I wish that we were talking about a living wage, but $15 an hour is an important improvement on that. I just have time for one more question. Yes, ma'am. Madam Speaker, I'm just curious, as far as that's out of question. Your question's a waste of time. Oh my God, she said that again. So there you go. Sharon Cheney was among the 2,000 credible questions from yesterday's recording. Let me go over these questions as well. Sharon Cheney, all people are hurting, all Americans, not just people with kids. This is a response to the multiple stimulus checks for children. Now, understand that I know that everyone needs relief. And I appreciate Sharon's comment, but I also don't discount the people that need that relief. So the parents need those relief, but you also need relief. So absolutely. Anna Rivera, please keep your promises with people on Social Security. Absolutely, Anna. Go on social media, tag the elected officials, share this video. Ostista Dawkins and the people who never get taxes again. Michael Atkinson, what about Social Security? Besides being unemployed, we make the smallest pay in America. Absolutely, Michael. Go on social media. Don't let them forget about you. Patricia Haynes, when will they act together and give a stimulus? Great question. Thank you for the question. Bob Matthias, we haven't heard about multiple stimulus checks for a long time. Now, what the heck are they getting to the $1,400? That's about $200 a month. Yeah, they were supposed to give you $2,000 plus $1,400. Kathleen Keys, I would love to see the SSI get resolved. $200 a month would truly help so many. Well, Kathleen, understand you're going to get a $1,400 stimulus check. You're getting that now. That's certainly coming now under this bill. The SSI is not gone. It's just not currently being talked about and currently not in this bill. Don't think that the fight for that is over, because it's not. But you are getting $1,400, Kathleen. Exie, good evening, LA. Well, thank you. They're doing nothing but talking. Haven't seemed to do anything but talk. No. They're working on the bills all this week and getting them finalized. The bill will go to the Senate on February 22nd. But thank you for the comment. Carol Bolton, this is so confusing. They don't have children, but they're still hurting? Really? Hugh Smith, LA, why the hell isn't anyone talking about Social Security and everyone just talking with people with kids? We all need help. It's a great point. It's a really good point. There's a lot of stuff I don't understand because I'm not in the mindset of these people. The thing that I detailed on Mornings LA, did you not watch that live broadcast earlier today? I said, I don't understand how they often say something's going to be in a bill and then 2 days later it's gone and they act like it was never there in the first place. It's like me coming on the set and the plan is gone, and then I turn to production and say, where's the plan? What plan? There never was a plan. Wait a second. What happened to the $3,200 stimulus check for adult dependents? What $3,200 stimulus check for adult dependents? What happened to the $2,000 stimulus check on top of the $1,400? What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Clearly you see a good reporter in this interview pushing the envelope, but the reporters have been really too soft. And I think that it comes from lack of understanding of what the issues are. These reporters are not informed, they're not educated, and they're not asking the tough questions. Robert Alvarez, stimulus is great, but I'd rather have my life back. Don't we all? Brian Ogletree, when are they going to stop playing with the bill and send out the darn money? Melody Yeager, the people on SSI got left out. A lot of people got left out. FPUC people got left out. Adult dependents got left out. Businesses got left out. Everyone, a lot of people got left out. Patty Smith, I would just like to know when they're going to do the $1,400 and when. The $1,400 will be finalized in the House on February 22nd and then go to the Senate, and then they're going to play with the bill on the 22nd. Kathy Ebert, Biden said he would help Social Security people $200. What had happened? He'd forgotten us. Understand, a lot of people have been forgotten, but Nancy Pelosi's comments today are incredibly great news. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be done. It's just not going to be done in this bill. Ultimately, I think you should be done on this bill, and you got 2 more days to push the envelope as well. Go on social media and tag the elected officials. Ways and Means Subcommittee, Labor Subcommittee, get the message out loud and clear. All right, let's turn to some home issues right now with just 2 minutes left of this recording. Most people would like wear one mask in public, but a few weeks ago, during the inauguration of President Joe Biden, you saw elected officials appearing with 2 masks. It was the first major event where you saw people appearing with 2 masks, and people certainly asked, why are they wearing 2 masks? Well, the reason why elected officials were wearing 2 masks was because they saw an early drafting of the CDC order, which came out a few days ago, which I was detailing to you a few weeks, I think it was in late January. Since late January, I have been wearing 2 masks in public. Why? The new CDC report says that if you wear 2 masks and that they're firmly fitted at the nose, above the nose, and below the chin, you can block the attempt of receiving coronavirus by almost 98%. Almost 98% effectiveness in 2 masks. Ultimately, you have to decide what type of mask you like, but it should be firm at the top and firm at the bottom. I particularly like bandanas and then a mask. I like a bandana with a mask. Ultimately, always make sure that the rope on the side is firm. Some of these ropes are not particularly good. They break very quickly. I've worn this underneath and the mask on top, and it breaks it. Now I've worn the bandana under and the mask over it, which is not particularly aesthetically pleasing. But I prefer the mask underneath and the bandana on top, all for aesthetic purposes. But for cleaning purposes, I discard the mask usually after one use, whereas the bandana I clean in hot water after every single use. I don't even reuse the bandana after one time. So with that, there's so much happening across the board. I'm so excited for you. Thank you for your nice comments about the pain. This is a tape recording because I'm going back to the doctors, but I will be back with you at 3:30 with Afternoon Check. Please tune in. Please give me big love and viewership on Afternoon Check. 3 shows: The Check, then Third Stimulus, and finally, What the Chuck. I'm back live with you on that. 3 big shows start at 3:30. Please tune in. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save LA for more.